York would say sweater. So Goizueta is how you say it. So hopefully that resonates. But I, again, am Anna Gibbons, and I am the Director of Pre-Business Advising and Admission for Goizueta. So I work with all students, students who've been on our campus for all 4 years, but then also students who are transferring on the transfer process. And I have been at Goizueta since 2014 in various roles in our business school, but I'm also an Emory alum. I graduated in the early 2000s with a degree in international studies. So Emory is near and dear to my heart in many ways, and I have loved my time in the business school. My colleague Kelsey was going to join us this evening, but unfortunately it has been a stormy day here in Atlanta and some lightning hit her modem about a half hour before this session. So she is very sorry she can't be with us tonight, but she is going to be working really closely with you all. Kelsey is what I have deemed our transfer student champion. And so she is going to be doing a lot as you head towards the business school and towards Goizueta to help you get up to speed on things that you'll want to know. She is going to be putting on programming specifically for you all. She'll be doing some one-on-one academic advising this summer in preparation. So Kelsey is another one of my colleagues in our office, and just wanted to put her up there so you can kind of see her face as you will be getting email communication and then hopefully having some Zoom calls and other things this summer with her. To get us started, I wanted to do just kind of an overview of our BBA program. Many of you have probably done extensive research, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I do want to just kind of make sure you understand who we are and kind of what we have to offer, what the structure of our program is, and things that'll be just important as you are kind of making your final decisions. So at Goizueta, you are earning a bachelor's of business administration. So our business program is designed to give you knowledge in all functional areas of business. So that's going to include accounting, marketing, finance, consulting, information systems, and operations management, which is where supply chain, process and systems, big data, and technology live in our curriculum. And so you, through your education, are going to take a core class in each of those areas. Some of you have may taken some of things like that already. And then you're also going to specialize in one of those areas minimally through our program. Our program allows for a lot of flexibility. So as you've done your research, you've probably seen that there are a lot of different things that you can focus on within our curriculum. So you will be able to kind of chart your own path. We don't put out cookie cutter business students. We really have a lot of students explore tons of interests while they're with us. And so if you want to have a second major in Emory College, that is possible with our business degree. You would be able to combine interest in econ or Spanish or psychology with your business education. You also are able to focus on multiple areas of business. So if you are interested in both consulting and finance, you can take electives to kind of create a focus in both of those areas. We also have opportunities for you to focus in niche areas of business, things like entrepreneurship, international business, real estate, business and society, or what I like to call business for good, all things that you can kind of finesse your curriculum to gain some expertise in. In addition to that, we also have something we call concentrations. And because we are such a strong liberal arts university, we have partnerships with different areas of the College of Arts and Sciences. So if you are coming to Atlanta because you have heard we are the place to be for film and TV right now, you could participate in our film and media management concentration. And so with that, you would take courses, the business curriculum, and then you would add in some film and media studies courses in partnership with the film and media studies major, and that would give you this credential called the film and media management concentration. So we have partnerships like that where you get to kind of dabble in another area, and we do that with environmental science for our environment and sustainability concentration. We do that with our human health major, and it's called health innovation. We actually even do it with Emory's interdisciplinary studies major, and it's called business across disciplinary boundaries. So lots of ways you can shape your curriculum in addition to just kind of earning your straight up BBA. We also do have 2 dual degree programs. So if you are coming to Goizueta with the intention of studying accounting, most students will do our dual degree that is a BBA and then a MPA, which is a master's in professional accountancy. And so you can earn both degrees at the same time. For most of you, that would probably mean 1 to 2 additional semesters, most likely 1, that would allow you to gain both of those degrees and be ready to sit for the CPA exam, which is one of the motivations for many students and doing this program. It allows you to get the credit hours that you need to be ready for the CPA in most states. In addition to our dual degree with a BBA MPA, we also have a dual degree with our Masters of Science in Business Analytics. So if you were drawn to Emory because of our opportunities in the information systems operations management area, big data, all of that, this MSBA is another great way to gain some additional skills to be a really proficient data analyst when you leave. And so the MSBA program is a 10-month program that's added onto your BBA. And so most students, again, just need one additional semester to be able to complete that. So you would be here 4.5 semesters, 4.5 years, I'm sorry, 5 semesters. So 4.5 years total in your college experience to have that degree. But you will spend 4 semesters with us as a BBA. We do have a 4-semester residency requirement. So our expectation is that everybody entering, regardless of your previous credit hours, would be with us for at least 4 semesters. So that's a little bit about just kind of the basics of our program, the degree you were earning and all of that. Next, I want to talk about what the transfer student experience will be like. So one thing I want to really highlight, and most of you are probably aware of this, but at Goizueta, we are a 4 or 5 semester business program. So students who started at Emory as freshmen join the BBA program in either spring of their sophomore year or fall of their junior year. So each year, about 400 students will join the BBA program. This spring, we welcomed 250 students, and in the fall, we are planning for around 215. So you would be amongst those 215 students new to the BBA program this fall. So one of the reasons that's really great as a transfer student is everybody's new. Everybody's starting Goizueta at the same time. So for you, you will kind of blend right into that group. Now, of course, we are going to do some special things for you to help you get acclimated, but in terms of kind of developing your place and kind of creating where your niche is going to be within our business school, you're going to be doing that alongside a lot of your peers. In addition to that, you will, of course, participate in an orientation as you start Emory, but we do a specific BBA orientation with each group of students that starts in the business school. So those 215 students I just mentioned will also be participating in an orientation with you to get you prepared for the business school. And again, that'll just be a great opportunity to meet a ton of people with like-minded academic interests, to get you oriented to the offerings in the business school, and to prepare you to start the program. So I think that makes for a really smooth transition and something that is nice about our experience for incoming transfer students. As Giles alluded to in the beginning, we are bringing in a cohort of transfer students at the junior level, which we have not done in a long time. So prior to this year, students typically did spend some time in Emory College before matriculating to the business school. So you guys are kind of an inaugural group. We are hoping to have around 20 of you who will be starting with us. And so we are going to have dedicated programming and advising designed to help your transition into Goizueta. So my colleague Kelsey, again, is going to be kind of our transfer student champion. She's going to be working really closely with you, providing opportunities to meet with other students, to engage in different opportunities the business school has, and to make sure academically things are as seamless for you as they can be. One of the ways, things that contribute to your experience at Goizueta are our BBA clubs. So we have functional clubs in all areas of business, and those clubs are really student facing and client facing. So you are going to be doing lots of client facing work with our clubs and organizations, and you'll be able to join those this fall as you're getting started. We do club fairs every semester. So that's something that you will be able to be a part of right away as you are diving into Goizueta. They will be showcasing themselves at our orientation and things like that. So that's a really meaningful way to get involved and to get some practical business experience right away, as we do work with many clients being in the Atlanta area. If you have been at a more rural business school, one of the things, or university, one of the things that I think you'll find really amazing about the Atlanta community is how much impactful work we're able to do. So a lot of our student clubs work with small business owners to help them develop business acumen, often giving them microloans to support their small business and helping them to get things off the ground. Before I continue, I do see a question in the chat about orientation and when orientation would be. We are planning for an in-person orientation. It will likely be on campus. In other years, we have gone off-site, but we anticipate we will be on campus this fall. And orientation is usually just a few days before classes start. So right now, for the business school aspect of the orientation, that we are planning for August 22nd and 23rd. All of that is kind of a little bit of a moving target, but we're pretty confident in that plan. And you as a transfer student will be participating in a mix of activities with the larger university for all transfer students, and then for specific business oriented transfer orientation pieces too. Trying to get that out. So you'll be doing both, but you'll be getting acclimated to all of the resources university has, but then also the specifics of the business school. In addition to BBA clubs, I also wanted to make you guys aware of just other opportunities you are going to have. So study abroad is definitely something that's very possible for you if you are hoping to study abroad and that was a part of your college plan. You can definitely continue that as you join the business school. We do all of our study abroad through exchange. And so you will go to another business school, top business schools in the world. We have 45 programs in 29 different countries that you can engage with. And these are some of the best business schools. So you will be able to go for a semester. It's super empowering. We don't send like 20 Emory students to another country. We usually send 1 to 6 on exchange to a different institution. And you will be a fully participatory student in their program for that exchange. You'll continue your business curriculum, so it won't put you behind at all. So if you're passionate about doing things in an international space, you'll definitely have that opportunity. Typically, students will go either spring of their junior year or fall of their senior year. So both of these will be opportunities to you after you've spent 1 semester on campus. This summer, I wanted to just talk about a few things too that you'll be able to take advantage of. Kelsey will be emailing you about our academic series we run in the summer, and myself and my colleague Nikki that works in our career management office will be putting on areas that are programs that explore each of our academic areas. So if you are somewhat new to the idea of studying business, if this was an intentional pivot, but maybe you aren't sure where you want to spend your time in the curriculum, we will be exploring all of the functional areas of business this summer, and then also connections to those in terms of career outcomes. So you can start to think about where you may work if you were to focus your time in finance, or where you may end up if you decided to focus on our consulting area. So we will be doing those sessions this summer, and you'll be able to participate in those. We'll also do a study abroad session this summer, so you can get more acquainted with that program. And then of course, there's going to be lots of opportunities to meet with Kelsey and start to chart your academic plan. A part of that will be evaluating your previous business courses. So I know right now you may be beginning to receive your credit evaluations from Emory. Your credits are being evaluated, based on your general education requirements and previous things that you took, but you are not going to get in that initial credit evaluation an evaluation of business classes you took and whether or not you would need to take those in our curriculum. We will evaluate those courses with our faculty, but that is something that will happen a little bit later. There are some classes that you are likely going to have to take with us, and I'll talk about that a little bit more when I get to our curriculum in a minute. But we will be helping you to determine if some of those classes you took that were business will transfer in as a specific business requirement as opposed to just a generic business elective. Career management, I know, is another important aspect for many of you as you're making your decisions. I just wanted to highlight it briefly. As part of our business school, you do have a dedicated career management team. So we have our larger Emory Career Center that serves all students, but once you start the business school, as you guys will, you will have a dedicated team that only works with the students who are planning professional careers in business. Because the BBA program is a pre-professional program, we know most of you are going to work, and therefore there's just an added need to make sure that you have that support. So in your first semester with us, you're going to take a course called Professional Development. It's a 2-credit seminar that happens on Fridays. It's your only Friday class if you're in the business school. Otherwise, we don't have classes on Fridays, so look forward to that. And my colleague Jane, who is the director of our career management team, teaches that course. In that course, you are going to be set up for success in your internship search. So they will teach you everything you need to know about resumes, LinkedIn, target company lists, mock interviewing, anything you can think of, the new virtual environments and virtual interviews that are taking place and how to successfully navigate those. So we will make sure that you are as ready as you can be for your internship search. And then, of course, hopefully you will land a great one. 97% of our students had a junior or summer internship. So our students are really successful in kind of securing those 10-week experiences that truly may result in a return offer. And just kind of as a, something to give you some perspective, our median starting salary right now is $72,500 for our students. In the pandemic year, we still had 86% of our students employed within 3 months of graduation. More typically for us, that looks like 97%. Within 3 months of graduation, students are gainfully employed. So just wanted to give you that to kind of reassure you that you are going to have all the resources you need for a career with us. The setup of our office, if you haven't had an opportunity to see our campus previously, your business school classes are pretty much all going to be in one location in our business school, mostly on the 3rd floor of the business school, which is kind of dedicated to the undergraduate business students. And you are going to have touch points with all of the resources you need kind of in a one-stop shop. So when you come into our office, you will be greeted by Crystal, who is our amazing receptionist, and the candy bowl, which is always overflowing for BBA students to help you in between classes. And then you will have your academic advisor. In our program office, you will have Kelsey as a touch point for transfer students. Our dean is in that office. Our director of international programs is in that office if you want to study abroad. And our career management team is in that office. So we are all located together, which makes it really nice. You have a very kind of comfortable academic home on our campus that you feel like you can come to for pretty much anything that you are going to need as it relates to your kind of academic and co-curricular experience at Goizueta. So if you don't have an image in your head of the space just yet, I wanted to kind of provide that context for you. Next, I wanted to talk just a little bit about our curriculum and kind of what to expect over your 4 semesters in our business program. So the first semester in our business school looks the same for most students. You're typically going to be starting in our core classes. And so every student takes this business communications class that's required for our program. And even if you have taken some type of communications class previously, we are likely going to ask you to take this course. And then every student also takes the professional development course that you see listed there, 380. Beyond that, you're going to typically start in the business core. So that is courses like in most cases, many of you have financial accounting. So things like managerial accounting, corporate finance, principles of marketing, process and systems management in the ISOM area, organization and management, strategic management, business law, courses like that. So you're going to have 8 of those to choose from, and you're going to pick 3. And then you also are going to have space in your schedule to take something in the college. Typically, that might be a remaining general education requirement for you all. But we like students to have some balance in their schedule that first semester, so it's not all business. That may be a little different for you, and we can talk about that individually. But that is what a semester would look like. In most cases, you're going to take 5 classes every semester with us, and then some type of seminar requirement. Moving into the spring, you are likely going to continue your core classes and then also start some business electives. So this is where you would decide, okay, I think I want to check out finance. So you may take investments that second semester along with some other business core. Maybe you're interested in marketing. So you might choose to take consumer behavior or another marketing course and start to check those out. Junior seminar that you see listed is a series of events that you will kind of get to choose your own adventure with. You do 6 events over the course of the semester that are for your personal and professional development, and that will be make up that credit hour. Moving on to fall of senior year, you will see you quickly shift from lots of core classes to lots of electives. So this is where you have tons of choice and flexibility in what you'll take. And you'll also have space, if necessary, for continued general education requirements. So say you haven't done a foreign language at your previous institution or a lab science. These are some spaces in your curriculum where you will be able to fill in, or you might not have any of those left. And so that's where you're going to be able to continue to take other business electives or continue to take some of the amazing courses in the liberal arts that Emory does offer. So as a business student, you are not restricted by the number of classes you can take in the college. You are able to take philosophy classes or religion classes or Spanish classes, whatever those interests might be, you will be able to continue. So if you are trying to pursue a double major, or things like that. Anywhere you see this GER flex space would be places where you can fit in some other courses in the curriculum. And then you'll also see here something called senior seminars. Those are, again, personal and professional development seminars. They are 1 credit hour, they're topical. And so we have different ones every semester. Last fall, we had Atlanta as the Black music mecca. We had a business etiquette one. We typically teach one on NBA franchising. So if you're interested in sports management, that's a really cool one to take. But they also are skill building, things like financial modeling in Excel, beginning, intermediate, and advanced Excel. So interesting seminars that you can take that are kind of class light. They're not graded, they're SU, or satisfactory, unsatisfactory, and they just give you an opportunity to get exposure to something you don't have time to take a full class in. So you'll do 2 of those over your time with us. And then finally, senior year, many students save our ACT 410, which is our business law class, until their senior year. Business law is a class you will likely have to take with us. If you took it at the freshman or sophomore level, it probably was not as robust as our class is. This is a class that most students save for their senior year. Our professor, Allison Burdett, is amazing. She wins our teaching award like every year. She's a brilliant Harvard grad and really fun to learn law from. And so we will likely want you to take this course with us in your Goizueta experience. And then you're going to continue your electives to kind of finish off. And then this 2 credit course you see here called Capstone is a course that all students take. It pulls from all of your experiences in the business program and has you solve problems in tight time frames. It's experiential, it's low risk, it's not graded on our grading distribution or curve. You start with an A and hopefully you keep an A, but it's a fun class to kind of see all of your peers and kind of wrap up your Goizueta experience. So when you're looking at this is kind of the extreme of credit hours that you all would need. Many of you may need a few less than this, but this would account for a total of 68 to 70 credit hours in our curriculum. You will graduate with 128 credit hours from Goizueta. So if you are coming in, with 60, you're going to need 68. If you're coming in with a few less than that, then we'll work with you to kind of fit in some of those additional credit hours. If you're coming in with, significantly more than that, we will determine what that cap is going to be on the credit hours. Typically, you're going to need to earn no fewer than 63 credit hours with us. So that's usually the minimum that any student can earn to get their degree from Goizueta. So I know that was a lot of information, but I wanted to, hopefully this visual is helpful as you're just kind of thinking about the curriculum. If you go to our website, you're going to be able to see, all of this broken down in a bunch of different ways, a listing of all the electives we offer. If you just go to kind of areas of study on the Goizueta website, you can see that. And of course, as you meet with Kelsey, she'll talk with you very specifically about how you might move through this curriculum. So now we want to make sure that we have plenty of time for your questions and, things you may want to know from me or from Giles. We do have a little treat coming your way in the mail from our dean. That's a picture of her. She's super fun. So be looking out for a little welcome from us in the next week or so. But I definitely want to open up for questions. Giles, is there anything you want to add before we do that?
No, I think, Anna, you were very thorough with everything all the information you provided. I'm just really excited to have this group of students join us. So feel free to type your question in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Either way is fine with us.
Absolutely.
Hi, my name is Alan, and I have a question about the curriculum. Do we have to fulfill any specific requirements for, say, an area of concentration for, let's just say, finance?
Sure. So yeah, so each student has to take a minimum of 6 business electives, and 4 of those electives will be in one area of business. So if you decided you wanted to have your area be finance, then you would take, of your 6 business electives, at least 4 of those would be in the area of finance. For our finance area depth, the only required finance elective is investments. And then beyond that, it's totally your choice in terms of which finance electives you choose. So you could focus on things like investment banking and private equity. You could focus on things like mergers and acquisitions, or alternative investments. So you can shape it beyond investments, but we do want you to have that foundation. And so the same would go if you were interested in studying marketing. 4 of your 6 business electives would have to be in marketing. The other 2 could be additional areas of business or could be more marketing classes. So some students will come into Goizueta and they will be all finance all the time. They know that's what they want to study. And so they'll stick to all the electives in that area. Other students will, be less certain about that and more interested in kind of taking courses across the curriculum. And so they may take their 4 marketing classes, but then they may take some things in the consulting area. So they may take a negotiations or that type of thing. Ben, I see a great question for you about, is there specific housing for business? There is not. And so as a transfer student, you would be able to apply for on-campus housing, but we don't have designated housing for business school students. Our upper class students, are really kind of a mixed bag in terms of where they choose to live. Many will choose to live off campus. There is a great deal of housing in the area. And I would be happy, if you want to, follow up, I'd be happy to send you kind of places that students commonly live. Emory Point is really popular for our business students. And then some of our students will live on Emory's Claremont campus, which is on-campus housing. Giles, do you want to help me with Eric's question about when they should expect their transfer credit evaluation?
So Eric, some of the transfer credit evaluations have been sent out and they are coming on a daily basis. So if you've not gotten yours from Emory College, you'll be getting it maybe in a day or 2. And then you'll hear later from the business school where they'll do their credit evaluation on your previous business courses that you've taken.
Yeah, so as you are getting those transfer credit evaluations from the college, they are evaluating all your general education requirements and, the things that every student is required to graduate with, your number of credit hours. And then we will take a closer look at your specific business classes. Part of that will be a conversation about what you plan to study at Goizueta. If you're going to be studying finance at Goizueta, we want to make sure that your finance foundation is going to set you up for success. So if you did take a corporate finance course at a previous institution, we want to look at that very carefully to make sure that it fits and that it's equivalent to our course. So we'll be doing that with you kind of on a one-on-one basis. But in terms of the number of credit hours you're going to receive, that would pretty much stay steady state because the college is going to evaluate those business courses as kind of general business electives. It would just be a matter of if we then later waive a requirement for you based on that course. So hopefully that makes sense. I had a question in the chat as well about the dual degree programs and if those are kind of automatic if you're selected to be a BBA, or do you have to register for those separately? And so the 2 dual degree programs with accounting and with the MSBA are courses, you do apply to those. So if you decided you wanted to do accounting, you would apply for that program. And the BBA, MPA, the students who are doing our Masters in Professional Accountancy are all current BBA students at Emory. So it is truly, a program that is all encompassing just Emory students, whereas our MSBA is more competitive in some ways because students can apply to that program as a standalone. So students who've already completed a Bachelor's of Business Administration or another degree may come and complete our MSBA. So that is a pretty competitive program. If that's one that you're interested in, we can walk you through some specific things that they would be looking for. There is some advanced math that they value, as well as some computer science that they skills that they want you to have as you work towards that program. Lydia, I see your question as well about on-campus employment. Emory does have work study programs and then lots of other on-campus jobs. So, as you can imagine with any campus, opportunities to work in our PE center and our library and different administrative offices on campus definitely exist. Really great residence life program. I was an RA when I was on campus. I loved my experience with residence life, and summer conferences gave me an opportunity to stay on campus over the summers. So definitely lots of experiences, and we do use Handshake. So both campus jobs and then also for your on-campus recruiting for internships and professional roles after school will be facilitated through Handshake. Anya, registration for transfer students. Thanks for that question as well. I know that's one you guys probably, many of you have. Those are do you have that timeline, Giles, up for the
I believe they're starting in
registration?
July.
I was going to say it should be in July. So during the month of May and June, Kelsey will be meeting with you all to kind of talk about your academics and what classes you will want to be taking, but the official registration will take place a little bit later. And so we will make sure you have all of those dates. And then Jingzu, I think I saw your hand up. Did you have a question you wanted to ask? And then I'll get to your question, Victor.
Yeah, I have a question. Thank you. So I actually get confused by one of the information I saw on Goizueta website. So I remember it was mentioning like all transfer students has to take a full academic year in Emory College in order to get BBA program. But at the same time, like when I was reading my decision letter, it was saying that I get into Goizueta Business School. So I'm kind of confusing about this part.
Yeah, so no reason to be easy to be confused. Let me say it that way. So up until this year, we have required students to spend 1 year in Emory College before they could start the business school. But we realized that we have a robust applicant pool that is ready to start right away. And so when evaluating your application and all of your applications, we feel like you are prepared for the business school now. And so you have been accepted directly into the business school and won't have to spend that additional year. So we are excited for you to join us now and start your business curriculum. You'll still be able to take some classes in the liberal arts, but you would be directly admitted to the business school, would not have to go through a secondary admissions process to join the BBA program.
Oh, okay. That's great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, absolutely. And we probably still have some outdated verbiage on that because this is brand new for us. So thanks. And then Victor, you asked a little bit more about the secondary areas of study. Thanks. Great question. So we call the area that you might think of as a major in business your area depth. And then we have these additional areas that we call secondary depths. And those are kind of like a minor in business if you want to think of it that way. And so those are areas like international business, real estate, entrepreneurship, analytical consulting, and business and society. And so typically a student's is going to pick one primary depth. So finance, accounting, marketing, those functional areas of business. But if you have a niche interest, so say you want to work in real estate, you can also take several courses in real estate to fulfill your business electives. So a student doing a secondary area of study in real estate, for example, along with finance, would take 4 finance electives and then 3 courses in the real estate area. Typically one of those courses would be real estate finance. So it will count towards your finance and your real estate. So there's some double dipping that you'll do, but that's how you would accomplish that within those 6 business electives required to graduate. Business and society is a really standout area for our business school. So if you are interested in social entrepreneurship or social enterprise, nonprofit work, business for good, think companies that give that have mission and purpose, like Tom's Shoes, where they give a pair, for every pair purchased. We do a lot in that space. We have a partnership with farmers in Latin America where we help them get fair wage for their coffee. So if you're interested in kind of how businesses impact social change, we have a lot of opportunities in that area. Some of our favorite professors, you'll hear their name, Wes Longhofer, a lot. He's amazing. So that's an area you can focus on. Entrepreneurship is another really big one. We have a great center for entrepreneurship and innovation. We do a lot in that space as well. And so a lot of times students will pair entrepreneurship with consulting or with finance as a common path as well. So those are really ways for you to kind of take some courses in those passion areas, in addition to getting the foundation in the functional area of business. It's going to give you some of those necessary business skills. What else can we answer for you guys?
Sorry, I just have another question. It's about the Goizueta, the Scholars Program. I just have a question. So I know it supports 4 years, but I was curious if transfers are eligible for the award.
Transfer students would not be eligible for that award. Unfortunately, it is a designation that comes with a 4-year experience at Goizueta. So it's students who are admitted and kind of go through several kind of pieces of development as Goizueta scholars, starting with the first year. So that is a merit-based scholarship that's awarded upon admission to Emory at the first year. Giles, would you add anything about that? Is that?
Yes, you're spot on
Okay.
with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha. Thanks.
So typically any aid package that you receive would be pretty consistent regardless of whether you were starting at Emory College or the business school. And so what you're getting from Emory now is how the business school would award you as well. Other questions?
Well, Anna, I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
That you might that people probably have questions with about as well. But what are some common companies that recruit at Goizueta, and some common places students tend to work after graduating from Goizueta?
Yes. If it's a company that exists, yes, that is the answer. You can work there. No, our students, are really well represented in a wide range of companies. So when it comes to Big Four accounting firms, we are at all of those. When it comes to top investment banks, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, all of those, we are well represented. Bain, McKinsey, Grant Thornton, consulting firms, that we are well represented in. But you also have the opportunity to work at tons of different types of companies. So we have students that are at Google, at Amazon, or at Facebook, or at Chewy.com, the dog food company. We have students who have had a lot of fun and success with companies. Burger King, if you didn't know, its headquarters is in Miami. It's a really fun place to work in your first job. So we have students who will go to places like, Burger King in terms of kind of merchandising and buying and selling. We have students at Macy's is a big hire. Brand management, Newell Brands hires a lot of Emory students. And then we also, of course, have students who don't go direct into traditional business roles and do things like Teach for America, or go on to law school is our most popular graduate destination. But pretty much, if there's a company that you may want to work at, because we are in Atlanta, we have several major headquarters. So things like Home Depot and Coca-Cola, two big other hiring companies that are local to Atlanta. Truist Bank, we are seeing quite a few students go to recently. And then a lot more in the tech and entrepreneurship space as well. We have a student that just graduated from the BBA MSBA. She did her internship with Nintendo, and now she works for the company that does Candy Crush, which I just thought was super cool. So, really there is no kind of one size fits all. You guys will be able to explore career opportunities across a wide range. If you are really interested in seeing like the specific names, if you go to the BBA website, and look at career, you can see our most recent employment report, and it does list every company that hired a Goizueta graduate from 2020. And of course, 2020 is a little bit of an anomaly of a year just because of the pandemic. So that's a smaller sampling than you would normally see. And most of those companies do come to campus to recruit. So they're coming to recruit all Emory students, but of course, specifically interested in business students with our degree program. So you will see, them coming to do company presentations, sending alumni back to visit with you all and do panels about opportunities in their companies, and then of course doing interviewing on campus as well. Ben, you asked a great question because many of you are going to be confused when you see this on Opus. So if your Opus account is not going to address or is not going to say admission to the business school right away. It is going to say you are admitted to Emory College at first. Once you submit your deposit, we will convert you to the business school. But because of the way our larger admission system works, we have to admit you to the college to start and then convert you to a business school student. Did I say that right, Giles?
That is correct.
So nothing is wrong. You are admitted to the business school, but it will convert at a later date. All right, anything else on your minds?
I saw another question.
Oh, perfect.
Talk about the secondary.
I think we got that one.
Okay, we got that one. And then we got the registration. We're clear on that one. I think it'd be worth, just so that everyone knows, I'm sure people are probably wondering about the name Goizueta. Where it came from and what it means. I really think it's a really interesting story as to where it came from. I don't know, Anna, if you want to kind of tell people where Goizueta came from.
Sure. So our namesake is Roberto Goizueta, who big time in Coca-Cola, but also a Cuban immigrant. So just kind of uniquely positions us with a cool relationship with the Latinx community as a result of his legacy. And I want to say, and Giles, correct me, did he attend Goizueta? I can't remember now. I'm blanking, but
To Emory? No, he did not.
yeah, no, not attend. Yeah, I can't remember if he, but we have had a longstanding relationship with the Goizuetas. They do a tremendous amount for our business school in the terms of creating opportunities for students through their foundation. Some of the largest gifts Emory has received have been from the Goizueta family. And so really cool namesake. We're really proud of our relationship, but it also does mean on our campus, you will not find any Pepsi. We are a Coca-Cola campus. Right, I know, we don't even know what Pepsi is. So I hope that is not a deciding factor for you, but you can have all the Coke Zero you want. And if you are not in a place that readily has Coke Zero and love it like I do, you'll be very happy to be here. A couple other things I will mention just about our business school. In terms of the culture of our business school, I think that is another really important part. We are a very community-oriented business school. We value collaboration over competition to the nth degree. So our students are very focused on the legacy they are going to leave, how are they going to help the students that come behind them. It's illustrated through lots of student-led programming. So for example, if you are a student interested in finance, our upper class students lead finance academies for sophomores and junior students to teach them how to go through investment banking recruiting. And they did that. They created this programming because they went through it, saw that it was challenging, wanted to help students that came behind them do it better. And so they lead sessions and workshops created for students, by students, to students to help you succeed in that process. And that's just a small example of the types of things that our upper class students do. You will find that every upper class student will be willing to tell you their experience with the company, how they got their opportunity, what they did during the summers, the classes they took. So very community focused. We do grade on a grading distribution or a curve, and sometimes that scares students. They are worried about, you know, what is my GPA going to look like if I am graded in comparison to my peers, but our curve is very generous. Over 35% of students can get an A in a course. And most students will say that the curve almost always helps them, never hurts them. Business school students graduate with higher GPAs than students in the college as a rule. So it is not something that is going to mean that your A is going to be a C. Usually it means that that 82 you got on an exam is actually going to be an A in the class. So that is something to be aware of.
You're not just sitting there waiting.
No, my back hurts.
And when your transfer credits come in, they are going to post as credits. They're not going to post as those grades. Is that correct? That's correct, right, Giles?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Credit.
So you will have a new GPA, so to speak, as you are starting at Emory.
All right. Any other questions before we wrap things up? Anna, something else that just came to mind that I think is also worth highlighting. Something I really like is the Delta room at Goizueta. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple of years ago, Delta redid a space in our business school. You'll actually typically have your professional development course in this room, and it's the Delta leadership area, so to speak, but it's based off a partnership that we have with Delta. It actually works with a lot of our MBA students in the leadership space, kind of cultivating leaders for Delta through our MBA programs. And they come in and do different workshops and seminars and have speakers. We had a really great, you could probably find it on LinkedIn or on YouTube, but a really great conversation with Ed Bastian, the CEO of Delta, in the spring or in the fall, perhaps, as companies like Delta and other airlines were figuring out how to navigate the pandemic, what the ethical and moral concerns were, and all of that. So it was really fascinating to hear everything from his perspective about how they treated their employees, how they were going to treat their patrons, how they were going to survive financially. So really cool talk. And because we are in Atlanta and do have so many great business leaders, you get opportunities to engage with those people all the time, lots of times in person. But of course, the virtual world has given us even more access to our alumni across the globe who are now seeing how easy it is to pop in on a call and speak directly with students. So you'll see lots of engagement. And I would say that's another thing. Our alums are extremely engaged in terms of being available to you. Part of your professional development course will teach you how to access them appropriately. So we will teach you who to go to, how to go to them, how to get those informational interviews with those alums who are in spaces where you want to be. About 35% of our students will stay in Atlanta for their first job. And so a lot of those students will come back and be on panels and talk about their experiences. But in terms of where other students go, if you are not interested in being Atlanta long-term, don't worry. About 36% of our students will go to the New York, New Jersey area. We are heavily represented in Houston, Miami, Chicago, the West Coast, and then North Carolina is growing with the Truist Bank merger. So we're seeing more students go there since that headquarters has relocated. But pretty much anywhere you want to be after school, you're going to find opportunities. And if you do aspire to kind of Atlanta or the Northeast, that'll definitely be an opportunity for you.
Yeah, Delta is Atlanta's hometown airline. So we expect that when you come to Emory, you probably will fly Delta Airlines, no matter where you're from. Another fun fact about Atlanta, if you did not know this, Atlanta's airport is the world's busiest airport. And so you can get to more international destinations from any of the airport in the world. And so I think as a business student, that's going to serve you very well to go places, to interview and to maybe have internship opportunities.
Yeah, it's great for that consulting life, if that's the life you choose, for sure. And I will say it's much easier to fly in and out of Atlanta than it is to fly through it. People always think it's a little crazy, but flying in and out is not so bad.
Atlanta is the most efficient airport I've been in the world.
Exactly. So absolutely. Well, great. Well, I am so glad you guys all joined us tonight, and we are so excited to have you. So I hope that you will find your home at Goizueta. We, couldn't be more excited to have this group of students joining us. And, you guys look around at the names you see, because hopefully some of these will soon be some of your new peers and that professional network that you're going to be building once you arrive on campus in the fall. And just one more thing, Giles, I'm sorry, I just thought of this. We are planning on, I don't know how much you guys have read about, Emory's plans for the fall, but we are planning on a fully in-person semester. So if that is important to you, I just want you to know that you will be taking your classes in person with our faculty.
And Anna, I'm going to put mine in the chat, but could you put your email address in case someone has questions?
Absolutely.
Message.
My email is different from my last name. So I was a student at Emory many, many years ago, and I have kept my student email from, the early 2000s.
I chuckled when I saw your email address, a hobby.
Yeah, it's one of those last names, but it's not mine anymore. So, but again, you guys, we are so glad we got to chat with you tonight. And hopefully this gives you some more information that's helpful as you are making your decision.
All right. Well, if you have other questions, don't hesitate to reach out to myself, Anna, or Kelsey Bryant. We'll be glad to help you. But I really hope that you join us in the fall. We picked you for a reason, and we really want you to come.
Absolutely. Have a great evening or a great day, wherever you are in the world.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you
You're
so
very
much.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful night.
Thanks.
Thank you.